Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, bit of technical difficulties. We are back, though. As always, I was saying, we were joined by my co-caster, Deviance Rage Killer.
Hey everyone, how are we all?
Now, we're on Volskoye Industries, which I butcher repeatedly. What are we going to be expecting on this map, Rage?
A good Lucio can be very vital on this map, as he can get boops off the back of the first point and then off the side of the second point as well. You like seeing a good Reinhardt and a good Mercy as well.
We're seeing all of those on the team. Now, what do you think about the pick of Hanzo on this one?
Hanzo can be very vital, really. If it's a good Hanzo, they can generally take out a team without any problems whatsoever. He may have a low health pool, but he's very destructive with his arrows.
Alright, we see Winston and the entire team pushing on the point. Nice little pick of the concussion mine there. That's a smart little play there to clear that out for the team. Lucio going very aggressive now with the team, which is nice to see Lucio up there. We see Lucio getting burnt down by the Symmetra turrets, and down Lucio goes. Unfortunately, no team there to save her. And
the Winston really should have been up there and taking care of the turrets rather than jumping in straight on the point.
Definitely agree, but we do see Reinhardt on the point right now, just holding there. Look at that nice, huge pick. Almost gets himself killed by the death animation. And we do see Tracer come in behind, pick that up and clean it up quite nicely. Hanzo not in a particularly great position right now.
This position can be quite well done because it can, as you can see, the Tracer's coming after him. It can generally be really good to be able to take out enemies from there. He was really going after the Widow that was already up there to make sure that the team had clear way on the point.
Do you see Winston now going on the point, getting hit with a Discord Orb. Symmetra immediately on everybody. Symmetra causing some pain right now. However, Symmetra going down to Winston, who's dealing a lot of damage. He jumps straight into the team. Can he do much with this? He picks up one, he picks up two. Widow going for the snipes, but can't hit it, unfortunately, and then he goes and dies to the Junkrat. The Junkrat making a huge play right there. Most people going down in that, unfortunately.
You see the enemy's Widow actually doing a lot of work. Usually a Widow, unless they're really good, you don't generally see the work come out of them. The Junkrat is also doing a lot for them. The only problem is they're not running any tanks, which could be a severe problem for them later on when the blue team gets some momentum, because then it's just basically going to be game over.
Do see a soldier now coming out for the blue team, which I believe is a particularly good pick, especially when that ult comes down.
Especially considering there's no Reinhardt, D.Va, or Orisa to soak up that damage, or even a Winston really with his shield.
We see Lucio diving on the point, Symmetra eating that up immediately. Sorry to jump in there, Rage.
That's alright. So basically that's going to mean that with a good soldier ult, you're basically going to see game over for the enemy team.
Mercy going for the res, no. Holding that off, we're going to see aggressive Mercy. We see an ult on the Winston. And a lot of people going down. I can't even keep up with it. Winston going after the soldier. Can he do much? He does. Looks like he's going to pick up Zenyatta maybe. Zenyatta in a bad position. Zenyatta does go down. And soldier now back in. Unfortunately with no health, Winston takes care of that easily. And looks like blue team's now going to take this point.
You see Hanzo with his ult up. Just getting ready to use it just in case they need to. You hear a Junkrat ult coming. They have to watch out for the tire on the point.
And it almost picks somebody up, but that was a nice shield by Winston. Tracer bomb coming down, picks up one by the look of that. Tracer attempting to hold this along with Junkrat, but Junkrat is unfortunately in a bad position right now against that Hanzo. Hanzo does pick it up nicely. Ult coming down from Reinhardt. Widow picking one up. Can Widow pick up another? But we see
Hanzo pick up Zenyatta in the back to make sure he can't come in and heal them all.
Widow kind of needed to dive on that, to be honest, to try and hold the point. Just sitting back like she did, she kind of lost the point, but does it matter in this map? Maybe not.
Not really. The second point is definitely the more vital point to keep, as it's very hard to attack it, but at the same point it can be very easy as well, depending if they have a momentum.
Hanzo right now playing havoc in the back lines, and we see Reinhardt taking most of the attention off Hanzo, which is nice. Big scatter arrow unfortunately does nothing, and their enemy Winston goes in and says nope. Ult come down from Lucio. Trap, unfortunately, from Winston. Can they do much with this? I said Winston, I meant Junkrat. And
you see Mercy with the double res ready to go. There it goes.
Can they capitalize on this? It looks like they're going to be pushed back by the red team right now. Looks like
Reinhardt just went AFK for a second.
Yep. Unfortunate, but it does happen. We see Symmetra going down to Winston. Winston doing work right now with the ult coming down. He gets knocked back, but is it enough? Zenyatta is in a bad position, and he does go down.
You see Soldier switch to a Genji. I'm not really sure why they did that. I did not see them use their ult whatsoever, but they have swapped to a Genji, which I don't think will work that well for them.
Honestly,
especially against a hard counter that the enemy team has in Winston.
I definitely agree. That's a bit of a weird kind of play, but we'll see if they can make it work. See Winston in the enemy backlines going up against the other Winston with ult right now, and he is causing some havoc. I don't think he picks anybody up, but he does hurt them a fair bit, which is a good play from Winston just to keep them off the point for a little bit longer.
The only bad thing about him jumping in and really throwing his ult off like he did that point is the fact that quite possibly he could have just given the enemy team a lot of ult charge in comparison to just him saving his ult and waiting until they're on the point for it.
We see Hanzo getting picked by that Widow. That was a beautiful shot. Right now, Reinhardt is coming in. It gets to Symmetra. Perfect play. That was unfortunate positioning there by Symmetra. Reinhardt playing pretty well right now. The big Reinhardt goes down, but he gets stuck, and Tracer does counter that quite nicely.
And you see Winston jump off the map.
Oh, that's an unfortunate push there right now. Genji getting out of there. Pretty wise move. That was just a bit of an unfortunate play there. They got picked off pretty easily, one by one. No ults really came together. Tracer going up against Hanzo right now. Tracer holding off pretty well.
Symmetra's coming after.
Widow, are we going to see any plays by Widow versus Hanzo? Widow is almost down. Beautiful shot by Hanzo. Widow looks like she's gotten out of there. Again, we see the enemy Winston with the ult in the back lines. Not really doing anything with it. Winston right now going straight after Symmetra. Perfect land. Symmetra's got nowhere to go. Can she do anything right now? But Winston pulls off the attack.
You see the blue team's Reinhardt switch to a Widow. I guess he must want to really get the picks off. And I guess if the Hanzo isn't really doing the job, they want to take it into their own hands.
Very true. Bit of an odd pick. We do see Winston on the ult 1v4ing the enemy team right now and coming out of that perfectly fine. If you ever thought Winston was a bad character, well, there's your proof. He is definitely not right now. Winston v Winston right now. Looks like the enemy Winston's going to go down. That health pack potentially saves him, but not quite enough. Lucio with an ult sitting in the background, probably waiting for a bit more of a bigger push, but unfortunately the comp they've got really isn't a push comp. We do see the ult coming down, trapped by Lucio, and Winston just going ham. Winston right now, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. He does eliminate 2 turrets. He has so little health. Junkrat ult coming down, and I think it's over. Like, that push is already dead.
You see the Junkrat tire chasing that Widow down and ended up getting the kill.
How do you think Blue Team right now is going to come back from this? They had a nice push on the first point, but right now they just can't put together a good push.
They really need to get another tank in it. Maybe a Roadhog just to get the picks off, because every one of the other heroes, except for Winston himself, which Roadhog is still a counter for, has less than 300 health, which means Roadhog can one-shot them. I'm really not sure why they haven't switched to a Roadhog. He can generally work, especially in this comp.
That enemy Winston right now, I've got to give props to him. We didn't think it was going to work, but him playing Havoc in the backlines is slowing them down a lot. Do see Farah now coming in, trying to do something. She's definitely going to have some hard times if that Widow can hit her shots, which is, so far she definitely can.
You see the friendly Widow take out the enemy Widow?
Which is very, very good. And then we got Lucio putting a bit of damage on. Nice to see Lucio using a bit of an offensive capability. And
Winston's
we do see again,
ulting.
Winston ult. Lucio doesn't have ult to capitalize on this with him, but we do see a Mercy coming in to keep that Winston alive. Is it going to be enough? We do see the stick on Lucio. Goodbye, Lucio. Winston, however, still working in the backlines against that Symmetra. Just not enough. Hanzo right now, again, goes down. We are watching an absolute destruction right now on this point. Mercy switching to the gun. Can she do anything with it? Right now, she's keeping Lucio alive. However, straight shot from Junkrat, and there goes Lucio.
You see fire in the back AFK. Just died to the Winston.
Honestly, I don't think they can break this. The enemy team's just... That sniper, honestly, this is a perfect map for snipers, and they're showing definitely why. Winston now getting sandwiched by a Winston and a Tracer. Bad time to be him. And Hanzo not doing a hell of a lot, unfortunately. He is being out-sniped by that Widow. I'm not seeing a lot of plays right now. Do you think they can even come back in this 30 seconds that is left right now?
Quite possibly. It depends if they get the momentum. Like, the fire ult could really help them, but the Lucio goes down, so it's not really going to be combined with anything, which means you can be picked off really easily, as you see just there by the Zenyatta.
Yep, looks like it is over, ladies and gentlemen, though we might see a quick play by this Tracer if Tracer can get there in time. I just unfortunately don't think she does, and she's gonna almost cop the Junkrat ult to the face, but the quick jump ahead lands just right next to Winston and she goes down. Do see Winston on the point right now. The team needs to catch up with him. Mercy goes down, who caught up with him unfortunately wasn't quite enough, and that is game, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately for the blue team, they just couldn't muster that second push, and I think you were right, the lack of a second tank really was not helping.
See, the good thing about Volskaya is I feel like it's very favoured in the defensive side when it gets to the second point at least, because there's not many access points in, and if you don't have the right sort of team comp, it's really hard to push in onto it.
And we definitely saw that there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in the next game. This has been another Deviance Overwatch cast. We hope you've enjoyed.